Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Test. 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 Morning, Susan. Hi everyone. Sorry about that on YouTube. For some reason the connection died for a moment, and we've just got it back. And just checking that you can still hear me on YouTube and on Podbean. Is Podbean still connected? Yes, thank you. Okay then. So yeah, I think I've lost some people on YouTube, but hopefully you find your way back. No idea what happened there. If it happens again, folks, head over to Podbean. The link is in the description, I hope. Okay. So some announcements. For those of you that are on the courses, you'll have been informed about some extra training, and what I'm running is 2 pilot sessions, one tomorrow morning and another one Tuesday morning. Then I'm also on doing an extra Podbean live stream tomorrow at 2:30. So the pilots are stress management and emotional regulation, and they're at 11:30, and the extra training on tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 is, sorry, not tomorrow. Let me rewind. Ignore all of that. I'm talking about Monday and Tuesday. Okay, so Monday morning 11:30, some extra training. 2:30, an extra Podbean live stream. Wednesday, extra training at 11:30. So contact me if you haven't had the details in the email. Right, that's better. Then we're back at teaching in public again, to students and members. So if you've attended before, hi Dave, great to have you back. So if you've attended the classes before, you've done a course, or you're a regular student, or you're on one of the online courses, you can come along to the Warren in Hayes, but it needs to be booked. So if you haven't received an email with a link to booking, then contact me and I'll send it to you. I'm also running as part of the 2020 meditation online course, I'm running a 4-week pranayama training course. You don't have to join the 2020 online course, which is an ongoing subscription. If you just want to attend the pranayama course, you can, and that information will go onto the 2020meditation.com website and Facebook page shortly. Okay, so sorry about that little technical hiccup. For some reason, very briefly, we dropped the connection. Today, we've got anger, burnout and overwhelm. I need to explain to you generally why people experience this kind of combination of things in the modern world. So anger can be down to a lot of things, but there's always an element of loss of control in it. Somehow or another, you're losing control. Yeah, whether it's somebody is being dominant or aggressive, or something's been taken away from you, that's somewhere along the line there's a sense of loss of control. If that becomes chronic, then anger becomes chronic, and there's all sorts of responses, and a lot of them are stress responses. Tight jaws, the most common, but it'll create stress in a whole bundle of different ways. So what I've got here is a graphic that hopefully will help you to understand that. Just going to post it into Podbean. There we go. So if you're on Podbean, you can click on that, and if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see it here. So basically what this does is this describes the experience of becoming angry and overwhelmed. So, there you are, trotting along, you're reasonably happy, low level of overwhelm. All overwhelm is your emotions are steering your choices. Yeah. So it isn't expressing yourself, so you're crying or something like that. That's not overwhelm. Overwhelm is when your choices are being steered by your emotions, and you're making unhelpful choices because of your emotions. And generally speaking, we don't. Generally speaking, there's a balance between all of the influences on our actions and our choices. And there's quite a lot of influences. There's instinct, there's intuition, there's memory, there's emotion, there's cognitive elements. Is this the right thing to do? Does this align with my own authenticity? All of that. And it all focuses on action. And then, of course, being a human being, at some point, you'll become emotionally overwhelmed, and the choices that you make may not be the smartest choices, because if emotion takes over completely in a social situation, very rarely is that the best choice. Doesn't mean it's never the right choice, but and the other thing is you want a little bit more control and influence over it than being dragged into behaviour by how you feel. So there you go. And so then that diminishes a bit, and you notice there's a kind of plateau afterwards of anger and stress. So you have this angry outburst, you still feel angry. And then I've put in this graph later on what we call intervention. So now the reality is there's nothing that I can do to teach you how to intervene once you're overwhelmed with emotion. The sort of things that you can learn to do, like breathing, you may not have the presence of mind, it doesn't really matter. But afterwards, when you've still got that stress, that anger, then you're in a position to be able to influence it. And you can reduce the amount of stress and anger with practices that I call intervention practices. So in the 2020 meditation course group, there's intervention practices taught in the first few units. So what I'm going to do today is start the meditation session off with some intervention practices so that you can see how they, or experience how they intervene in your physiology and in your emotional state, whatever your emotional state happens to be. And so all I'm saying here is very simple. You become overwhelmed. There's no point beating yourself up about it. What you do is you deal with what's left after the overwhelm, the plateau of anger and stress, or feeling of being out of control, or what the thoughts, the emotions afterwards. Deal with that. Then what happens is your capacity to intervene gets closer and closer and closer to the point of overwhelm. So that plateau of stress and anger that you experience after that, or grief, or could be anything, it diminishes. And the idea isn't to stop our emotions, to intervene. I want to be rock hard and never get upset by anybody or anything. No, that's just nonsense. But to get more familiar and comfortable with it, Recognize that from my meditation teaching. We're becoming familiar with the mind. We're also becoming familiar with our emotional states and our experiences and how we respond and how long it takes to respond and so on. So that's the discussion that explains that you can intervene in how you feel. If you're feeling absolute rubbish all week, you need to find that time in the week that works for you the best. And you find that time. This is one of the 4 rules of meditation, remember, fix your roof in the sunshine. So rubbish week, rubbish fortnight, rubbish month, whatever. At some point in that, you will be less stressed, worried, anxious, resentful, whatever it happens to be. That's the point where you intervene in your emotions, because they're still there. See, the plateau doesn't go away unless we intervene in it. So let's just get started with those sorts of practices. The first step is always to connect to your physiology. And how do you do that? By noticing how you feel. And where do you do that, or rather when? And you do that in the present moment. So if I just ring this bell, you can focus your attention on the way that the bell moves through time. Stay with the movement of the bell through time. Notice the movement of time. When we're calm, we can use pretty much any sound to do that. But when we're stressed, we can't. So the thing to do then is to focus on the body. And the place to focus is the breath. And you can choose whichever part of the breath works best for you. So this is like we're getting to the body, which is carrying all of the stress from the experience. You can either notice the coolness of the nostrils as you breathe in, just at the point where the air enters and leaves the nostrils, and the warmth of the out breath. Or you can notice the movement of the belly. And notice we're focusing on the belly and the movement. So nostrils, it's coolness and warmth. With the belly, it's movement. We're just noticing the breath rising and falling. So now if you're under stress or you're distressed, that'll still be going on, doesn't matter. What we're doing is we're throwing out an anchor into the present moment, which is there to help us to begin to connect to our physiology so that we can then initiate our practices. And while you're doing that, what you're doing is adopting an open, balanced and relaxed posture. Elbows by the side, head balanced comfortably on top of the spine. If you're seated, feet on the floor. Tongue up against the back of the top teeth, in contact with the sharp part of the bottom teeth. Still noticing the movement of the belly, rising and falling, or the warmth of the nostrils and the coolness just at the point where the air enters and leaves the nostrils. Just practice this for the next minute or two, checking in with the body, noticing any tension wherever it happens to be, the face, the jaw, the shoulders, the eyes, the hands, back and sides of the neck. And you're letting it out with an out breath. Just neutralizing that tension, breath by breath. And now regulating the breath. What we want to do is breathe in for 4 seconds, breathe out for 6. And the way to do that is count in your mind. 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1000, 4, 1000 for the in-breaths. 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1000, 4, 1000, 5, 1000, 6, 1000 for the out-breath. You're not trying to fill your lungs. You're not trying to empty them. We're just deciding our in-breath will be 4 seconds and our out-breath will be 6. Gentle breathing rhythm. And now reconnecting to the physiology again. Stay anchored on the breath, noticing the breath rising and falling. And noticing your physiology, checking in, eyes, jaw, shoulders, hands. Is there any tension there? With the head balanced comfortably, tongue in contact with the sharp part of the bottom teeth, and you're noticing whatever tension there is around the eyes, forehead, eyebrows, eyes, cheeks. And releasing that tension on the out breath. And the jaw. Any tightness in the jaw, with the tongue in contact with the sharp part of the teeth, physiological switch, helping you to relax the jaw. The jaw's not separate from the rest of the face, the shoulders. So the wave of relaxation begins at the forehead on the out breath, so you're breathing in normally, breathing out, forehead, eyes, cheeks, jaw, throat, shoulders, back and sides of the neck. And now checking in with the shoulders. Whatever tightness there is there, gently releasing it. The elbows by the side, and move your head around to find the point of maximum comfort. The point where, if you were very sleepy, you could drift off and your head would stay balanced on your spine. And the wave of relaxation on the out breath each time. Forehead, eyebrows, eyes, cheeks, mouth and lips, jaw, throat, back and sides of the neck, shoulders. And focusing on the hands. If you're not getting much sensation back about the feeling of the hands, notice we use our hands to feel, so we get the texture of whatever it is the hand's in contact with, but we rarely allow ourselves to feel how our hands feel. So what you can do is breathing in, tongue between the teeth, and as you breathe in, you're tightening the hands into fists, and as you breathe out, allowing them to open up naturally, like the petals of a flower. Breathing in, tongue between the teeth, breathing out, allowing the hands to open up. So in each in-breath, tightening the hands into fists. Each out-breath, letting them open up. And the tongue's between the teeth so that you don't build stress up by focusing on the in-breath. As the human body's system, autonomic nervous system on the in-breath, the stress system engages, and on the out-breath, the relaxation system engages. So we want to hack this. We're hacking our stress response. And just releasing tension from the hands on the out-breath. And now all of these areas, checking in with your physiology again, checking in with your posture. Elbows by the side, head balanced comfortably on top of the spine. Fingers and thumbs gently touching the fingertips of the first finger and the tip of the thumb. Breathing in normally, breathing out, relaxing down in a wave from the forehead, relaxing the eyes, jaw, shoulders, hands. Breathing in, bring your attention to the space between the eyes. Breathing out, relaxing the eyes, jaw, shoulders, hands. And now, experiencing a lot of stress, ideally, what we want now is to help to calm the mind. So that relaxation, that focus on your physiology, the extended breathing. Did extended breathing two ways there. The first one was we were counting. 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. And the second one, because of the focus on the flow of relaxation through the body, we naturally extend the out breath. So all of that will tip the scales a little bit towards relaxation from tension. But then there's the mind. And so what we want is a mantra. And so here's a mantra. This is an ancient Buddhist mantra. I'm teaching it because it's what I use. It's an acceptance of the battering that our minds get in the modern world. Rest in natural great peace. This exhausted mind, beaten helplessly by karma and neurotic thoughts, like the relentless fury of the pounding waves in the infinite ocean of samsara. Rest in natural great peace. Rest. We're resting the mind that's constantly alert, constantly searching for threats, constantly trying to solve problems. Rest in natural great peace. This exhausted mind, beaten helplessly by karma and neurotic thoughts, like the relentless fury of the pounding waves in the infinite ocean of samsara. Samsara is life, the cycle of the days, the weeks, the months, the years, the cycle of life. Karma's not a million miles away from cause and effect, but it's what we experience. So it can be totally within us. So if we have an angry outburst, a lot of that stays within us. Rest in natural great peace. This exhausted mind, beaten helplessly by karma and neurotic thoughts, like the relentless fury of the pounding waves in the infinite ocean of samsara. Rest this exhausted mind, rest our tense bodies. Just noticing the breath, rising and falling. And here's another mantra, useful for a busy mind. May I be well. May I be happy. May I find peace of mind. Checking in with our physiology again, checking in with our posture. Still allowing the body to relax, release tension on the out-breath. We'll use this mantra with the breath. Again, we're extending the breath. Breathing in, noticing the space between the eyes. Breathing out on the first out-breath. May I be well. Second out-breath. May I be happy. Third out-breath. May I find peace of mind. May I be well. May I be happy. May I find peace of mind. So we're connecting the out breath to the mantra. And that's a permission statement, among other things. Allowing ourselves to be well. And bringing the attention to the movement of the belly. Noticing the movement, the belly rising and falling. Tiny little movement. And notice it moving through time. We're noticing time passing through the movement of the belly. And time passing through the sound of the bell. Stay with the movement of the sound of the bell through time. Okay, so remembering that the time to intervene is after the experience. We're training our body to intervene, our physiology, our breath. That's when you're actually in a difficult situation itself. You might be really angry, you might be overwhelmed, you might be burning out. Sometimes all you've got is the breath. So you're just focused on that breath. And we're connecting the breath to the relaxation, which is moving us out of stress. And in time, our capacity to intervene gets better and better, and then the angry outbursts become less and less, and they become a once-in-a-decade thing. Okay, so that's it for today. So we've got things that are happening tomorrow night: mindfulness-based resilience training for the online mindfulness-based resilience course. Then we've got on Monday 11:30 a pilot training. If you haven't received an email or it's not in the course or whatever, then contact me. Then 2:30 is self-care, which is compassion, self-compassion and gratitude. That's a live broadcast on Podbean. And then another pilot training Tuesday morning at 11:30. And then the pranayama 4-week course starts on the 26th, and all of the other online course training is continuing. And of course, we're at the Warren if you want to come along. If you haven't received the link, then let me know and I'll send it to you so that you can book yourself in. Okay, thanks very much, everybody. Okay, thanks Caroline, Judith, Matt, Jenny, Maxine, Martin. Okay, brilliant. Okay, thanks everyone. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Chris. Great weekend. Thanks, everybody.